welcome back to another video. Not sure why this is so bright. Hang on. Okay, it's just going to be bright. I don't know what's going on. I think that's a bit better. Anyway, welcome back to another video. I'm just on my way down to the donkey. Got a few things to update you on with the donkey and how things are going. Lots of people ask about the donkey and the goats and what's going on with the various animals. They haven't maybe been in so many videos lately. I'm not sure, or maybe everyone's just really interested in the animals. That's fine. So I'm going to update you on all of that later on. First of all, in this video I just wanted to catch you up on what we've been working on over the last couple of weeks, because maybe over the last 3 or 4 weeks, because stuff's been happening. Mauro has been doing quite a lot of work in the kitchen. My mum's also been helping us out in the kitchen, and we've got loads to update you on there, so let's go and have a look. Are you done? Good morning. Today is a very exciting day. Had my breakfast, got my tea. That's not what's exciting. What is exciting is that we are getting our windows and doors installed in our kitchen today. So we're just starting to clear this surface because the window is going in here. Gonna put some cardboard over the tiles to try and protect them, make sure they don't get damaged while the work's going on. We've got a few things to move out of the way around the door area over here. I hope this guy is going to be able to do everything today, the window and the door, because it seems like a lot of work to me, but he did say he's just coming for one day, so we'll see how that goes. We have the door keys. Wow, loads. Oh, it's going to be so good. So having the windows done has inspired us to crack on with some of the other stuff in the kitchen. Well, actually, we're tackling the pantry today. This is a project that we've wanted to start for ages. This is the current state of the pantry. We're just trying to clear it out a little bit. And what we want to do is put up some shelving on this wall. We're going to close this horrible, ugly mesh thing in and try and put some shelves up. You can see we've had this for ages. The box has fallen apart, but it's basically this. It's a quick drying plaster. This is what we're going to use to fill in the mesh thing that we need to just cover up with something. We're going to do something slightly unconventional, but it's going to work. We're going to mix a bit of straw into it, even almost like we were doing like a kind of natural building, and this is going to give it a bit more tensile strength to just keep it all in place. It's going to work fine.
Yeah, some people use, we've been recommended to use that material that is like strands that looks like a horse's tail, and that's really good to like shape it around weird area.
Yeah. The problem is I didn't know what that stuff was called. It was called to us something like horsehair material. Try searching for that and finding out where to buy it or what it's called in Spanish. I had no luck, so we're using straw instead. And yeah, let's hope it sticks.
If I do that, it's gonna get...
Okay, it already dried in like 2 minutes, so we gotta
This is where you put like a quick flashback to when you say quick dry plaster.
Quick drying plaster is gonna work. Yeah, it's very quick. We should have read the packet, but the packet was all disintegrated.
This is not gonna work. I don't think this is gonna work. Sorry if I'm not pushing against you, right? So yeah, the quick dry plaster lived up to its name and dried really quickly. So we're doing normal plaster with straw. You live and you learn.
Yeah, I don't know how you're supposed to use that other stuff. I mean, we should probably watch a video, but we're just gonna try normal plaster for now.
I know there's tools for this job, but it's easier with your hands. The ceiling being so close just makes it really hard to use the...
Well, it's like natural building. It's got straw mixed in. It's sort of a different material. It makes sense that it's easier to mould it with your hands.
Yeah, so we're continuing to put straw because it's a good filling material and it also acts as a mesh. So we're just gonna do only plaster on the last layer just to finish it off, but so far I think the straw is working really well.
Meanwhile, we also continued work on the kitchen interior. We were so close to getting all the countertops and masonry finished, so we decided to press on with that. First, we finished tiling a countertop which I'd built months ago and never got round to tiling. I know we're using a lot of tile adhesive here, but the concrete countertop wasn't perfectly smooth, and we just find it easier to use loads of tile adhesive to smooth over any irregularities when we put the tiles on top, and it seems to work for us. I need to come back with an epoxy grout and redo all the grouting on all of the countertops, but we'll do that another day when all the counters are finished. Over the last month or so, we've been able to settle into a new routine where we're really only working on projects at the weekend when Mauro free, and during the weeks I'm taking it a lot easier than I normally do.
She got it in the air once.
Wow, it goes so far. Much better than the ball.
Yeah. It also goes slower, so she has time to chase it while it's in the air.
I've been working on a few crochet projects lately, and I also finished my rag rug, which I'd been working on for months, and I was so happy with the end result. I like to spend a little bit of time in the garden doing odd jobs, and I've been really enjoying cooking with what we're producing. The runner beans are doing really well this year, and I love a simple runner bean and potato salad with simple lemon juice, oil, salt and pepper dressing. We're still getting loads of kale and cabbage, which I also like to add into salads. In fact, salads are generally the backbone of our meals at the moment because it's just so hot, and it's a really good way to use up a lot of stuff that we're getting from the garden. I've also been taking some Spanish classes again. You know, I very rarely share sponsored products and stuff like that with you, so if I ever do, it's because it's something that I genuinely have been using and really wanted to share with you. Over the last month, I've been taking some classes with Lingoda. I've spoken a bit about learning languages before in my videos, learning Spanish, and I'll say it again. I really do think that my Spanish completely took off at the point at which I started taking online classes with real native speakers. I love the classes with Lingoda because you know exactly what you're getting. You can find the level that suits you and browse topics that you're interested in, choosing to focus on grammar, communication, or reading. Booking a class is super simple. You don't have to wait for the teacher to confirm. You literally just book it and then you can add it to your calendar. 5 minutes before the class starts, you get a Zoom link emailed to you and then you go and join your class. One thing I really love is that you can view the lesson materials before the class starts. So if you're worried about having those awkward moments where you don't know what to say, you can make sure that you're prepared in advance. In my experience, the teachers have all been really lovely, really professional, really well prepared, really good at getting you to speak and contribute. And I had such a lot of fun that I actually booked 3 classes for one day, back to back at one point. Confident speaking, especially on the phone, was one of the scariest things for me when I moved to Spain. And it's honestly only by practicing, in my opinion, with native level speakers that you can start to work towards some of those like real world language goals. Vale, mi nombre, ¿quieres que te lo deletreo? Deletree? Lingoda have a pretty cool thing going on at the moment, which is their 2-month language challenge. It's not only a great thing to do for your language learning, but you also get cash back at the end, which I think is so worth it. If you take part in the language sprint and attend 15 classes a month for 2 months, or a class every day for 2 months, you get a pretty big proportion of cash back at the end of completing that challenge, which I think is pretty cool. I have actually taken part in a similar challenge before, an intensive sprint of language learning back in lockdown a few years ago, and it was a commitment, but I have to say during that period my Spanish just completely took off, and if I was at the level that I was then, I would totally do it again now. If you would like to get started with Lingoda, I have a code LittleSpanish20 which you can use via the link in my description, and it gets you €20 off their registration. If you do try out classes with Lingoda or decide to take part in the language sprints, I would love to hear about it, and I'd love to know what you think, because I just like talking about learning languages, to be honest. I could sit here all day, talk about learning Spanish, but yeah, I think I had better leave it there, and yeah, thank you Lingoda. So this afternoon my mum is going to help me do a little bit of plastering in the kitchen, or I'm going to help her, or whichever way around. We're going to work together. We want to plaster around some of the remaining cabinets that don't have their like work surface top on yet, because it's just much easier to do before you put the top on. So we want to get that done today so that when Mauro is off tomorrow, he's got some time off tomorrow, he can come and put the tops on and we can tile the top and get our final cabinet top countertop done. So this is the section that we're working on today. You might remember this from many videos ago when I started it. Now it's still looking like this. But this is the last section that needs its countertop on it. So if we can just plaster inside and down the back, then we can do that job tomorrow, which will be really good. The kitchen is one of our main priorities at the moment. It doesn't really matter that we don't have this tiny bit of countertop done. In the scheme of things, we can live without it. But of all the things that we've got half done and pending, the kitchen is just the one thing that we really want to try and clear off our plates and get as finished as possible. So when we've got time and when we've got energy and resources, this is what we're putting our time into. I think it's just going to feel a lot better if we can get the kitchen to a point where it looks good, looks almost finished, and we've got all the main pieces in place. It'll just, I think, make us feel a lot better about this whole situation where we've got so many projects half done and half finished. So yeah, I'm gonna plaster this and see how it goes. We did talk before actually about putting like a wooden countertop on here because I wanted something really solid to screw my grain mill onto. And some of you gave us some good ideas about how we could do that and get it really strong and solid so that the grain mill didn't like wobble it around. Having thought about it a bit more, I've realised that we actually also need like a solid countertop that's not tiled, which is bigger than this, maybe like a stone or maybe wood. But yeah, bigger, probably in the middle in an island, because Mauro needs a countertop that's not tiled to knead his bread dough and his pizza dough. It just doesn't really work on tiles. So with that in mind, I think we'll just have like the one countertop that's solid, which means that this can be tiled like all the others. So that makes this job a bit easier. So this was quite awkward. The bit with the drainage pipe from the sink I'd already put in, so trying to get behind it, we found a spatula is the best tool for the job. With the plastering done, Mauro cut the flat bricks to form the countertop and we were able to finish the job. Finally, to finish all the countertops, we just had a little more plastering to do before we could install the shelves.
So now we're doing the trickiest part, which is doing the roof of the cabinets. Obviously, gravity is not a friend here, but I made an extra thick mix, so it's actually going quite well.
It's going a lot better than every time I've tried to do it.
Yeah, it's because I did it more. I did a thicker one on this one, and it was a lot harder to work with. But I realized that this is the way to go for the roof. So yeah, it's good. Apart from working above your shoulders, it's always very.
It's very cramped in there.
So and I'm too big for this space, but that's always the case. Yeah, we're sealing absolutely everything because we've seen wasps and insects nesting inside the bricks and in every single corner. So it's just the best we can do, really. This is a never seen before angle of me.
Ready?
It's a bit scary to come out of here because I don't see that much, but I guess it's better to come out this way than that way. That way is super blind. But the problem we have now is that we just saw a group of cyclists going our way, and overtaking them in very curvy roads is a bit scary for me, so I'm just giving them some
I think
advantage.
I think they're going faster than you,
Yeah,
so
probably.
I think it's fine.
Which way do you indicate when you're coming out?
I don't.
That wasn't a good maneuver, but I'll take it.
Oh, good. Well done. He's doing really well. I actually hate being driven by anyone else in my car, what I consider my car. So this is very stressful for me, but Mauro is actually doing really well.
Stressful for me too. Too fast. Too fast.
No, you're good, you're good. Do you want to try and clean the windscreen? It's a bit gross.
Not at the moment.
No?
He's not asking me for fourth.
Yeah, probably. This is a good challenge. Do you want to try multitasking?
I don't know how you clean the...
Okay.
I don't know what the thing is.
Yeah. Way great. So we've just done loads of chores. We've got the car full of straw and alfalfa, which is one of the main things that we needed to do. We've just stopped for a little snack. Enjoying a snack. And now we're going to go... Where are we going now? Oh, we're going to go and pick up some stuff for the donkey. Actually, this is quite exciting. So I'll show you what we're going to get. Oh no.
Our errands days are screwed by the summer.
Okay, we're not getting donkey stuff then.
I'm not a knot guy, but I wish I was. I don't know any fancy knots, so I'm just gonna do
They're not.
a knot.
It's on. So this is the first time we've put Moses ourselves in a little temporary paddock area. We're slightly cautious about it, so we've just left his lead on just for the moment, just for a few minutes, or just as long as we're kind of monitoring him in case something spooks him or he decides to try and break the fence somehow and we need to catch him. It's a lot easier to get hold of him with the lead on. We're not going to leave it on all the time. We wouldn't leave the halter on either, but just while he's getting used to it and we're getting used to how it's going to work. He's touched the fence a couple of times. He didn't like it, but he needs to obviously get used to it. He's not been inside electric fencing that we know of very much, so we're going to see how it goes. We put this electric fencing up right by his enclosure so that we wouldn't have to lead him too far away from it, just for the first time. However, we're quite far from the house and I really wish we had some sort of like monitor so that we could monitor him in here rather than stay down here and watch and see what happens, because yeah, I don't really feel completely confident just going away and leaving him for a few hours. So we're gonna watch, monitor the situation, see how he behaves, see what's going on, and yeah, hopefully this will work well and we can move him around to other places. And it didn't take a second to set this up. It literally took Mauro, what, like 10 minutes or something to put this fencing up. So it's really worth it. It's actually easier probably than stripping this area that he's in. Moses gets a good meal out of it as well, so all round it's hopefully a win. So to answer a few more questions about the donkey and the animals, the goats are still not back. Actually, while I was away in hospital, it was really useful for the shepherd to keep hold of them, because that was just another job that friends would have had to do for us if we'd got them back before then. So we deliberately didn't try and get them back at that point once we knew that was going on. Well, we weren't here to go and get them anyway. We're kind of in two minds about whether to try and get them back. They're still not pregnant as far as we know. and it's sort of like a sunken cost fallacy at this point. They've been with him for so long. It's almost like it could be tomorrow that they get pregnant. It seems such a shame to possibly take them away just at the end after all this time when they might be about to get impregnated. So yeah, we don't really know. At the same time, we want Moses to have friends, but the more time goes by and we think about it, the more keen we are to just get more land and have a second equine friend for Moses and separate the goats and the donkey. We're really looking into getting this field next door. I think that would be perfect for Moses and another donkey friend. We also need to get him castrated so that he can live more easily with another male, or we could even have another female. So there's a few things that need to happen, but I really hope to have an update on the field situation for you soon, so keep watching. This whole goat donkey situation is not a situation I'm super happy about. I really wish we had the goats. I really wish we were able to get milk from them this year. I really wish that had gone better. I really wish Moses had a friend. This is not the situation I was planning to be in when we got him, and I feel really bad for him. He's better off than he was in the place where we rescued him from, but donkeys need company all day long and he hasn't got that at the moment. However, I do really hope it's not too long until he can have some company, and we're doing the best we can at the moment. So yeah, keep watching. As soon as we have any updates on either of those situations, we'll let you know. Okay, it's a couple of hours later. We've just had dinner and had showers, although it doesn't feel like it. I'm super sweaty again. So hot lately. And we're just going back down to the donkey. We've been checking on him literally like every 10 minutes and he hasn't escaped yet. We're going to put him back in his enclosure now and yeah, call this a success. Oh, he's done a really good job. Yeah. I think he's got another day left in here. Thing is though, if we leave him in here for a little longer, he'll eat the stuff that's not his favourite stuff as well, and that's good.
Welcome. Welcome.
He's getting quite annoyed by the flies around his head, so I think we're going to get him one of those fly thingies, fringe things, to help him out.
Whoa,
So this behind me is the second paddock that we've made for Moses. He's been in here for 2.5 days and he's done quite a good job. He's also trampled quite a lot. It's hard to tell what he's eaten and what he's trampled, but it's definitely a lot more passable than it was before. It also smells nice and rich of donkey poo, which is good. So these olive trees are getting a little bit of manure, so that's also nice. It's a delicate balance really between how long to keep him in here, how much he's going to be trampling and compacting the ground, what he can eat, which we're kind of learning about. Possibly the paddock is a little too big and it should be smaller so that he eats more in one specific place without trampling the ground too much and just going around in circles. So yeah, it's kind of a balancing act, but we'll see how it goes. We're just learning at the moment. He's really enjoying it for sure, and we're getting some strimming done, so that's great. We'll keep you updated on how this is going, whether we change up the size of the paddock a little bit or how long we keep him in here. Yeah, but I think I am going to leave this video here for today. I will see you in a week or two, hopefully. And yeah, thank you for watching.